this club. I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the live stream and welcome to all your Chelsea transfer news. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you're smashing the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, chat, we have got a packed show. Chelsea have made an approach for Hugo Ekitike, but Frankfurt want up to 100 million euros for the 22-year-old. Apparently, Chelsea are exploring a deal for Joao Pedro and they're willing to offer around £50 million for the Brazilian international. We have got the latest on the future of Liam Delap, who has also spoken to Chelsea as well as Manchester United. Plus, we've got a depressing update from Carve Solokol, the chief reporter at Sky Sports News, about Chelsea's pursuit of Rodrigo and the general transfer business for the Blues this summer. And we've also got updates on Benjamin Sesko. But before we dive into that, guys, just a quick reminder. You can check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Get your hands on the new Chelsea home kit for next season, chat. 20% off, link in a description. Use code BLUEBROTHER. Good quality, affordable prices. Get the latest Chelsea kit. Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Link in description, as I said. Blue Brother for 20% off, guys. And of course, the QR code in the top corner, chat. If you wish to support myself, it would be greatly appreciated. Scan the QR code or hit the link in the description. You can support myself through that, or you can send the super chat in as well. It's just YouTube take a much higher percentage than Buy Me a Coffee do. So you can scan that QR code to donate to myself if you wish to do so, or you can still send your super chats in. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, chat, let's say hello to some of you and we'll get this show on the road. This club will not succeed like this the way they're going. I hear you, brother. I hear you. After Spurs win a bigger trophy than its ownership has achieved in the 3 seasons they've been here. Yeah, I mean, not ideal, but we move. Yes, big up. Yeah, obviously I wasn't actively wanting Spurs to win, but I don't view Spurs as a threat. I actually didn't really care who won, to be honest. Wasn't endorsing Tottenham to win, but I wasn't cheering for a United win. As such, it is what it is. 2 shit teams, shit finals, settled by a shit goal. You know, what did we expect? The only positive from Tottenham winning is the banter on Arsenal. The banter on Arsenal is going to be outstanding. Absolutely sensational. But yeah, what else have we got going on here? Maresca getting a 9, similar profile to Jackson as he wanted. Yeah, I mean, if we do go for Ekitike, then yeah, he is a similar profile to Nicholas Jackson. And Maresca did say that he wanted that. Yes, big up, brother. Big up. Awaiting our sponsor, whoever that will be, before buying the kit. Yeah, I mean, look, it could end up being Damac again, or it will be someone else. There will be a sponsor on it. I've got no idea who right now. Yes, big up. I don't watch Johnny Minerals. Each to their own, but you know, I've not seen any of that. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. But anyway, let's dive into it. Let's start with the main news, though, on Mr. Hugo Ekitike, and it's coming from French journalist Fabrice Hawkins, who is pretty spot on. He was the one that broke Wesley Fofana to Chelsea. He was the first on Pedro Neto to Chelsea, and now he has provided this update on Hugo Ekitike. Chelsea target Hugo Ekitike. The striker and Frankfurt have got an agreement for a transfer this summer if the interests of all parties are respected. Frankfurt want between 80 to 100 million euros. I think that's about 65 to 84 million pounds. Several English clubs have approached the player and the club. Among them, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Chelsea's interest is high. PSG will have a 20% sell-on clause from whatever the price is. So that's probably why the price is as high as it is for Ekitike, because 20% of that is going to PSG. 20% of that is going to PSG. So that's probably why the price is a little bit higher than it is. Now, we've been aware of Chelsea's interest in Ekitike for a number of weeks now. You know, he's been a name that has been mentioned on a short list, but there's been nothing kind of major or nothing concrete. This is the first sort of major update we've had in regards to Hugo Ekitike and Chelsea. It's clear that Ekitike is a striker that Chelsea would be interested in, are interested in. I think he scored 22 goals this season, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just have a quick look now on the old transfer marks, but I'm pretty sure he scored 22 goals this season. And I think he's got 34 GNA. Now, obviously, it's Bundesliga, and let's not disrespect the Bundesliga, but we haven't got the best record when it comes to signing forwards from the Bundesliga. Werner, Havertz, Nkunku, to name three. 3 big money signings, 3 massive flops. Now, my issue with Ekitike would be, this is the first season in his career where he's really putting up the sort of numbers that is getting him this attention. You know, this is the first season where he's putting up numbers, but also you notice how as soon as Marmoush left, since January, Ekitike's form has dropped off. His form's dropped off since January. Now, that doesn't mean that he's shit or whatever, but as soon as Marmoush left, the form absolutely dropped off. It absolutely dropped off. There's no denying it. But Ekitike, this season, chat, has got 15 goals and 8 assists in 33 Bundesliga games. And he's got 22 goals, 12 assists in 48 appearances in all comps. So he's 34 GNA in 48 appearances, in all competitions. Now, my concern in regards to Ekitike is that if you're potentially going to spend upwards of £65 million on a striker, the guy said this is the only good season he's had. And I don't want that to come across as like disrespectful or ungrateful or whatever. This is the only good season he's had in his career. That is an awful lot of money to spend on someone who has had one good season in their career. Now, I get it. At some point, you've got to take a gamble on players because you don't want to wait for them to have 2 or 3 good seasons and then become really expensive, or someone else takes that gamble and it works out really well for them. However, if you're going to spend between 65 and 85 million pounds potentially on a player, I want a bit more in the tank. I want a bit more miles on the clock. I want a bit more of a resume to go off. I want a bit more evidence that this guy can be a guy. And when I talk about taking gambles and whatnot, when you talk about taking gambles, chat, like, for example, a player having one good season, £30 million, I would take that gamble. That's why with Liam Delap, for example, I don't have a huge issue with it. It's £30 million. It's a gamble worth taking. It's a risk worth taking. It's what you'd probably describe as a calculated risk, signing Liam Delap. Whereas Hugo Ekitike, I mean, every transfer is a risk, but 65 to 85 million pounds, that's a huge, huge gamble to take, and one which could massively backfire. If it's 30 million pounds, you go for it, you take it. And if it doesn't work out, you spent 30 million quid and it's not a complete disaster. But the facts of the matter are, with Ekitike, chat, is that there's still so many unknowns in regards to him. So many unknowns. He's a very, very similar profile to Nicholas Jackson. Now, signing Ekitike would make sense if Nicholas Jackson was leaving. But I don't get the impression that Nicholas Jackson is leaving the football club. So I look at someone like Ekitike and I think, does he improve Chelsea? Sure, he would absolutely improve the squad. He would improve the squad. He'd give us another option, and he's definitely, I'll say he's a better goal scorer than Jackson and arguably a better centre forward. But is he good in the air? I'm not too sure. I've not watched enough of him. But is he that sort of bagsman that's going to move us up the table and have us competing for the top prizes? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he is, chap. I'm really not sure that he is. And this is what we need to be. This is what we need to be careful of here. This is what we need to be really careful of is, are these guys the right guys to move us forward? You know, transfer fees don't seem to be a problem for Chelsea. Chelsea, if a player fits into their wage structure, their financial remit and whatnot, they are happy to spend 65, 70, 75, 80 million pounds on a player if they fit in the wage bracket. You could get an Osimhen or a Gyökeres, two top quality strikers, far more proven, would come in and make an impact. You could get them for less than Ekitike would cost. But Chelsea don't seem to be interested in that because those two players don't fit in the wage structure. But if we get into the Champions League and hopefully we do on Sunday, I would, if we were to sign Ekitike, and there's a lot of ifs and buts and there's a long way to go, but if we were to sign Ekitike, if we go into next season with Ekitike and Jackson in the Champions League, it's pretty peak. It's pretty peak. It's not ideal. I mean, Ekitike is a very similar version to Nicholas Jackson, but he's basically Nicholas Jackson with really good ball striking and better finishing. Other than that, he is very, very similar to Jackson. And I just don't think we need another profile of striker like Nicholas Jackson. We don't need that. We don't need another level of striker like Jackson. We need a different profile. We need a different caliber of player. We need a different quality of player as well. By the way, chat, keep smashing that like button. Run the likes up. Subscribe if you are new around here as well. We're over 100 in the building already. But yeah, keep smashing that like button. Run these likes up. Run these likes up, chat. Yeah, he is reliable, absolutely. And sure, there could be a chance that if we get Champions League, maybe we'll look into it. Maybe we'll look into it. There's absolutely still that possibility. Still that possibility. How can people compare this Ekitike prime draw? Yeah, no, it's non-comparable. It's non-comparable. But the last thing we need is yet another project striker. And that's what Ekitike would be. And people would say, oh, maybe you could move Jackson to the left wing. I don't see Jackson being moved to the left wing. Ekitike is just yet another prospect. Yet another prospect. You know, another prospect. And I really wouldn't be surprised if this was a move that were to potentially materialize. Now, let's bring up a bit of a thread from formerly known as Euro Expert, now just goes by Alex. Big up to Alex. This is from back in March, and he's on a bit of a myth-busting thread on Ekitike. There's been a ton of hype around Ekitike for good reason. He's one of my favourite players to watch. That said, there is a danger of the hype getting out of control. Here are his strengths, weaknesses, and my verdict on the best team for him. Split these into 4 tweets now. So history and profile. Ekitike is someone I've been following since he was at Reims. There, he played in a front two often and was an exciting yet raw striker in a counter-attacking side. He then went to PSG, where Christophe Gaultier misused him as a target man. As after a miserable first season of being lumped balls and not doing much with them, he was given one appearance under Luis Enrique before going to Frankfurt on loan on the second half of last season. The biggest change, though, from PSG to Frankfurt is in Ekitike's physique. He looks much leaner than he was in Paris. He was never a target man, but he looks more like a winger than a striker. Like he sacrificed a lot of muscle for added agility. These moments have come across a season that you can broadly split into two halves, playing alongside Omar Mamouche in a front two, and then playing more often as a lone striker after Mamouche went to City. The thing is, Ekitike has kind of played the same in both systems. He's a striker who likes to avoid contact with defenders, makes runs into the channels like Jackson does, drops into wider areas like Jackson does, and as a lone number 9, often drops off defenders to receive the pass and links play. This is literally like describing Nicholas Jackson. He's someone who thrives with space ahead of him, something that the Bundesliga often affords him. On top of that, he tends to create chances by spinning down the right and crossing in. Jackson does a similar thing. Tends to shoot by cutting in from the left, creating space for himself and getting a shot away, or receiving a cross at the near post or from a cutback. So his strengths, always good to start the positives. It's clear where the current form of Ekitike excels: explosiveness and agility. Someone who can get to top speed very quickly, but he can lure defenders, tackles in and skip past them running into space. He changes direction very easily, very fluid. This is why he's able to exploit space so well, as centre-backs often try and get tight to him before he spins away with a flick or run in behind. And he's a really positive, active runner. Runs the channels, runs to the near post as well. He's obviously going to have good box presence. You've got unpredictability with Ekitike as well. Do we want that? I suppose some of it is not bad. It makes him a dangerous creator as well as someone capable of getting into dangerous positions himself. So his weaknesses: he's weak for a number 9, can be sent flying by average side centre-backs. Not ideal. That's why he looks to avoid contact. When he's dueling for a header, he's at his best leaping at the last moment. Fair. Doesn't progress the ball much. Dribbling is not great either. And he's unreliable in front of goal. Fantastic news. Fantastic news, chat. So he's sounding very, very similar to Nicholas Jackson. Standing very similar to Nicholas Jackson. But this is exactly it. You want a more physical kind of target man player. That's exactly what you want. A more physical kind of target man player. That's what you want. That's exactly what you're looking for, chat. Gyökeres or Osimhen, yep. 2 different strikers, 2 different options for attack of plan. If plan A doesn't work, go for to plan B. That's something we haven't got up top. Yeah, but Ekitike wouldn't really be a plan B because he's very similar to Nicholas Jackson in terms of profile, in terms of stature, in terms of all these things, chat. So yeah, it's not exactly an ideal situation. Bro, I'll be honest, bro. I'm not sure if he would. He's got the same amount of Premier League goals as Nicholas Jackson this season. Joao Pedro's got talent. He's got ability. I don't look at him as an out-and-out bagsman. He would be someone who's kind of versatile across the front line. He's not a specialist number 9, and we need a specialist number 9. Bro, Campos was never coming to Chelsea. That may be so, but that's what Frankfurt value him at, because that's how important he is to their team. So that's his value to them. Whether it's market value or not is neither here nor there in that regard. It's neither here nor there in that regard. But that price reflects his importance to Frankfurt. It doesn't necessarily reflect the quality of Ekitike. I thought you read Jackson's. Yeah, bro, it's very, very similar. I mean, yeah, both of them are not good in the air. I'd like to say so, bro. I'd like to say so, but if we're being brutally honest here, I'm not confident that is going to be the case. I'm not sure how much those targets are really going to change from if we get Champions League or we don't get Champions League. Of course he would. Everyone's available at the right price. Plus, he wants a new challenge as well. You know, everyone's available for sale at the right price. It's as simple as that. Yes, big up, big up, big up, big up. Yeah, I would rather have Sesko as well because we're unserious as a football club. That's basically the reality of the situation. But chat, that's pretty much the latest on Ekitike. Chelsea are one of 3 Premier League clubs to have made an approach to the Frenchman and to Frankfurt. And I'll be honest as well, chat. Delap for £30 million is much better value than Ekitike for 65, 70 million. That's the reality here. So let's wait and see how that goes. Let's wait and see how that goes. And let's wait for more updates on the Ekitike situation as and when we get them. No, but bro, but we do create a lot. But again, Ekitike is not an amazing finisher either. Sure, he's a better finisher than Jackson, but he's not an amazing finisher. We need someone that's going to be a serious upgrade in the finishing department. A serious upgrade in the finishing department. And that moves me on to the next bit of news, chat. And this comes from the Daily Mail. Chelsea are exploring a deal for Joao Pedro. Now, we discussed interest in Joao Pedro yesterday, and now it's gone one further with this report last night that Chelsea are exploring a deal for Joao Pedro and held a meeting on it yesterday. So this came out last night. So Chelsea held a meeting on Tuesday about Joao Pedro. They would be willing to offer about £50 million with the possibility of other players being offered in the deal, potentially even on loan. Now, I'm sure we could see some sort of arrangement there, some sort of deal reached there. Bro, it's not as simple as that. He can just evolve like Isak did. But there's absolutely no guarantees of that whatsoever. You know, we're like this. These are huge hypothetical ifs and buts that suddenly this guy might become good. Nah, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it at all. You know, 67 million quid at a minimum potentially, and this guy, oh, he might become good. No, 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 no. I mean, but chat, what do we think of Pedro? Because there's no doubt there's ability there. There's absolutely ability with Joao Pedro, but he lacks consistency. And I think there's a few discipline issues as well. He was left out of the squad against Liverpool because he had a bust up in training with Van Hecker. Discipline issues. He's a centre forward who can play off the left and as a second striker. There's definitely talent there. I just don't look at Joao Pedro and think, shit, this guy's going to score us loads of goals. This guy's going to make us that much better. And again, we talk about value for money. You talk about transfers. You talk about good deals. Again, Leon Delap at £30 million is better value for money than Joao Pedro at 50 or 60. And it's better value for money than a potential deal for Hugo Ekitike, chat. So, and I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you that I would take a Jean-Philippe Mateta over someone like that. Now, I'm not saying that Joao Pedro's not a 20 goals a season striker. He scored 10 for Brighton. I think he potentially could be, but he'd have to improve on his finishing. We'd have to create a lorry load of chances for him, which we do create chances, but is his finishing of that elite level? Now, do I think he's a better finisher than Nicholas Jackson? Yeah, he probably is a better finisher than Nicholas Jackson. No doubt about it. But again, it's just another, I don't want to call it an average signing, but it's another one of those signings where, sure, it makes the squad better, but does it make the starting 11 better? Does Joao Pedro signing for Chelsea, does that make the Chelsea starting 11 better? I don't think it does. I don't really think it makes the starting 11 that much better. You know, we've had conversations with Delap. this club is not serious. Honestly, this is ridiculous. I'm so deflated right now. Well, let's rein it in. Let's rein it in. We've got 2 cup finals, chat. 2 cup finals. But yeah, look, all the transfer briefs we're getting, they're not the most exciting. We have to be straight up honest here. The transfer briefings we're getting, they are not the most exciting going. They're really not. And we're going to be honest about that. And that could potentially change. That could absolutely change based on what happens on Sunday. I would say he's more similar to that. But if you're going to sign a Joao Pedro type of player, why would you just not go and sign Matheus Cunha? You know, why would you just not go and sign Matheus Cunha? That's the point that I'm trying to make here. Bro, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. We don't need that. This is the thing, though. Like, we need about 2 or 3 top quality signings, and then I think we're genuinely ready to be a serious team. Problem is, we act so unserious. So unserious, chat. So unserious. Not for me. It doesn't even start for Brighton. No, he doesn't. No, look. Let's rein that in. I don't think we will come 7th. I think we can get something at Forest. But, you know, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens, chat. We are going to have to wait and see what happens. I'm more excited for Ekitike than Delap. Fair enough. So we may be in the banter too if we somehow bottle. Yeah, look, obviously we will be in the banter. If we don't win the Conference League, if we lose that Conference League final, yeah, we are going to be in the banter. There's no denying that. Absolutely no denying it. We need a bagsman. We need a bagsman. I'm just not sure. I have to be honest, I'm not sure. It's not really a transfer that's moving me in any sort of way. And unserious if we sign Delap. If we get Delap and someone else, then it's I personally don't mind that. If it's Delap and someone else, got no issue with it. No issue with it at all. I would just be concerned if Delap was the only one. I mean, look, I still think we can get Delap over United. I still think we can get Delap over United. I don't think that is going to be too much of an issue. I do believe. Yeah, I've got a feeling we could well be looking at an Ekitike. Yeah, he could well be more of a natural goal scorer. I don't disagree, but it's not a significant enough upgrade, in my opinion. It's not a significant enough upgrade to Nicholas Jackson. Now, if we're going to be shopping in that kind of bracket, I would rather have Ekitike than Pedro, to be honest. Bro, this is all wishful thinking. It's just not happening. No, I'm just saying that Delap, whatever you think of Delap, I know you don't like Delap, but you've made that very clear on numerous shows. Delap, for me, at £30 million is a better deal and better value than Ekitike at 70 odd. It just is. It just is, to be honest, in my view. It just is, chat. By the way, 183 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Make sure you are smashing that like button. We're 71 likes. Get this up to 100 likes, chat. It should be light work. Get this up to 100 likes. And please keep subscribing to the channel as well. We are on the road to 17K. And then next stop, 20K. But make sure you're subscribing if you're new around here as well. And run the likes up, chat. Big yourselves up. Yeah, look, the only way we won't get Delap right is if living back in the north means that much to him. That's the only reason we wouldn't get him. Pedro or Ekitike and Jackson to lead us in the UCL. I don't think they can do it without a top. I agree. Yes, mate. All good. See you at Forest on Sunday. And are you coming to Rocklaw as well? Are you coming? Let me know. Let me know. I hope so, bro. I hope so. So yeah, there we go. I would take Sesko over Ekitike because Sesko is a different profile of player and a profile of striker that we desperately need. You know, something different to Jackson. Great ball striking, good in the air. He's a unique profile, unpredictable. You know, all these things. All these things. Bro, Rodrigo, we're going to get onto that in a sec, but it's not looking good. Yeah, maybe. Yes, bro. See you at Forest. Fair enough. Yes, we will be there. We will be there. Hopefully to see Chelsea complete the set, but you just never know, chat. You never know. But anyway, let's move away from the Joao Pedro scenario, chat. Let's move away from that Joao Pedro scenario and let's move on to a depressing update, if we're going to be really honest here. A very, very depressing update on Chelsea's transfer business from Sky Sports' chief football reporter, Carve Solocol. We are having a lot of links with Rodrigo, but those Rodrigo links and rumours and reports have been pretty much shut down in 48 hours. This is the latest from Carve Solocol at Sky. Now, again, doesn't mean it's gospel, but this information's come from somewhere, and I'm inclined to believe there's a lot of truth in this. Chelsea are on course to bank a £200 million windfall, but they have listen to this, chat, no plans to sign superstar players such as Real Madrid's Rodrigo. The Brazilian had been linked with a €100 million move to Chelsea, but he's not currently a target. Rodrigo is viewed as an exceptional player, but the total cost of any potential deal, including wages, is prohibitive, and a move would not fit in with Chelsea's strategy in recent transfer windows. Chat, it's May 22nd. The transfer window hasn't even opened, and we are already being briefed that this window is going to be a disappointment and a letdown, and we're not signing any superstars. Already in June, not even in June, the window's not even open, and we've got briefs downplaying the window, and we've got briefs warning us to expect disappointment. Already. But let's continue. Chelsea's model, which is very similar to Paris Saint-Germain's, except it's not, because they will offer the wages that they need to get players across the line, is to build a squad of young world-class players who will develop together and challenge for major trophies next season. PSG have reached the Champions League final with a young, exciting team after changing strategy and ditching their model of signing superstar players. Yes, but one thing people forget with PSG, and they're making a comparison to PSG offer the wages. And secondly, PSG don't only have young players. PSG's nothing like us. Donnarumma in goal. They got Hakimi, Marquinhos, Fabian Ruiz, Ousmane Dembele. You know, all players experienced, top-level pros with leadership, mentality. And you're trying to compare Chelsea to PSG. We're nothing like it. We're nothing like it whatsoever. They've got Kvaratskhelia as well. Like, comparing Chelsea to PSG, when PSG offer the wages they need to get these players in, and when PSG, to go with their young, exciting players, have got 4 or 5 top-level experienced senior pros. I'm sick of this bullshit. Please spare me this bollocks. Chelsea could make £100 million if they qualify for the Champions League. And they will bank up to 100 million more if they reach the final stage of the Club World Cup. They're expecting to be busy in the transfer market this summer, although a lot will depend on whether they qualify for the Champions League. Many of the big names who will be moving this summer are waiting to see who will be playing in European football's elite competition before picking their next clubs. Chelsea are planning on signing a striker, centre-back and a winger. Targets include Liam Delap, Sesko, Gyökeres, Garnacho, Williams, Hato, Gurhey and Branthwaite. Players will also leave this summer, but Enzo Fernandez is staying. Yep. The World Cup player is viewed as a key player who is back to his best and part of the core of the team, along with players such as Moises Caicedo and Cole Palmer. So what we're saying here is striker names: Delap, Sesko, Gyökeres. No mention of Victor Osimhen. Garnacho still worryingly gets mentioned. But Chelsea, this is what I don't understand, right? In almost every transfer briefing and transfer update you get on Chelsea, right, Nico Williams is mentioned, but Rodrigo's too expensive, even though Nico Williams is probably on more wages than Rodrigo. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, what is going on here, chat? What on earth is going on? Basically being briefed that we're just not going to sign any superstar players. We're not going to sign any top players. It's not even, but the thing is, though, it's not even the transfer fee. It's not the transfer fees. It's the wages and the total cost. If Rodrigo was only asking for like 150k, but he cost 80 million, Chelsea would pay the 80 million. The transfer fees haven't been the problem. You know, transfer fees have never been an issue. If a player will fit into the wage structure, Chelsea will happily pay 100 million, 80 million, 90 million, whatever it might be. Transfer fees aren't an issue per se, because they can be amortized over the 5 years. The biggest sticking point is the wages. And I said this yesterday, right? And I tweeted this out yesterday, that Chelsea will never move forward as a football club, chat, if we aren't prepared to make exceptions to the wage structure. You know, and people will say, "Oh yeah, if an Isak became available, we would go for it." Where is the evidence to suggest that exceptions would be made? Where is the evidence to say that? Oh, if Isak rejected a new contract offer at Newcastle, if Isak said he wanted out, we'd break it for Isak. Where is the evidence to suggest we would do that? There's no evidence at all to suggest we would make any exceptions. All it is right now is waffle and hot air coming out from the club that we would be prepared to make various exceptions. We wouldn't. There's no evidence at all. Bro, I would like to believe the same. But I have to be honest, I don't see it. I don't see it, chat. I don't see it happening. I don't see any of it happening. We're being briefed to expect disappointment and no top-level signings, and it's May. This is what we're being briefed, chat. When's it going to end? When are we just going to be serious? There's an opportunity to be so serious this summer, and yet it just seems we're going to bypass it. We're just going to let it go by. And look, I'm not saying this is 100% the truth, but there's a lot of truth in it, because nobody, hand on heart, being real honest with themselves, is looking at that and thinking, nah, that's a load of BS. Not true at all. Not true at all. Every single one of us in this chat knows that what is being reported here has got a lot of truth in it. Does anyone in the chat 100% really believe that we're going to sign top players this summer? We're going to get some superstars in. Is anyone believing that, chat? No one's believing that. We are briefing disappointment in the transfer window already. May. They're letting us down early this year, chat. May. Guys, don't expect any top-level signings. It's fucking May. May. The window's not even open, and they're telling us to expect disappointment again. Again, disappointment in the window. Again. Oh. We need that Champions League football. We need it. But the fact that Champions League football seemingly isn't really going to affect or change the targets, at least based on this evidence, is a real shame. A real shame. Because Chelsea have got an opportunity this summer to go and sign Victor Osimhen, to go and sign a Gyökeres and show they're serious in the transfer window. But how can you say you have no plans to sign superstars? What do we want to be at Chelsea? What do we want to be? Do we want to be an elite club competing for the top level titles with other elite clubs, or do we just want to be a Brighton, a Dortmund, a Sevilla, a Leipzig, pick up a trophy here and there, and we'll compete for the top 4, top 5 each season? What do we want to be? This summer will tell us what we want to be. It will tell us if we want to be a serious club that's going to compete for the major trophies again with other serious clubs, or it will tell us that we don't give a fuck. Maybe we'll pick a cup up here and there, and we're happy to compete for top 4 and top 5. And breathe. And breathe. But, bro, people say this, right? Based on what? Based on what? What evidence are we basing this on? Look, we might try something on Morgan Rogers. I don't know. I don't know. We might try something, but deep down, chat, we all know that not much is changing. We all know not much is changing. I mean, I've had this in the chat yesterday. Like people not rating Rodrigo. I'm just like, guys, Rodrigo is way better than anything we've got in the wide areas. Way better. And yet people in the chat are shitting on a potential move for Rodrigo. People in the chat are shitting on a potential move for Rodrigo. What are we doing here? I don't think it does change everything. I don't think it does. It might change a few things, but it's not going to suddenly see our transfer business do a complete 360. It won't even see us do a 180, chat. It won't even see us do a 180, chat. It won't see us do a 180. Because I genuinely thought there might be a small chance we might be serious again in a transfer window. We might act like a big club. We might act like a serious club that wants to get back to the top. But no. But no, chat. It doesn't look like we are. No, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. It's absolutely mental that there's people that genuinely think that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and look, and do you know what? It's great that we signed Cole Palmer and it's worked out fantastic for us. But the Cole Palmer thing is what defenders of this model and defenders of this transfer approach cling on to. Oh yeah, but it worked with Palmer. Okay, fine. But you get a transfer like that once in a blue moon. You know, for every 10 signings you make or 15 signings, you might get one that is like, wow. But the rest of them, generally speaking, are fairly average. And this is what we're finding, chat. Most of the signings we've made in recent windows have been average. Average. And we've got to do better than average. We've got to do better than average. Bro, but what are we basing that on though? What are we basing it on that we're going to be serious in the window? What are we basing that on? There is no evidence to suggest that we're going to be anything different. Where's the evidence, guys, to suggest that Chelsea will sign a superstar this summer if other clubs do it? Where's the evidence? Where is it? Because there's no evidence. Someone please point some evidence in my direction other than just severe copium or hopium either that we're going to sign a superstar this summer. Or there's nothing. So yeah, Chelsea not signing any superstars this summer, chat. Welcome to the new norm. Welcome, welcome, welcome. By the way, chat, 174 in the building. Keep smashing the like button. We're on 91 likes. We need 9 more likes to get to 100 likes, chat. Run it up, and keep subscribing to the channel if you're new round here as well. Let's get these subscribers up as well, chat. We'd greatly appreciate it. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Make sure you're doing that. But yeah, let's move away from that because that's the depressing update. A depressing update, and let's get back into situation. Let's get back into the situation. Because we're going to be talking about Benjamin Sesko. We're going to be talking about Benjamin Sesko. Because I think we are going to be ending up with a Bundesliga settings. It's going to be an Ekitike or a Sesko. From The Guardian, it has been suggested Chelsea will prioritise a move for RB Leipzig forward Benjamin Sesko if they qualify for the Champions League. Guys, what's the plan if we miss out? Let's see what's being said about Sesko in The Guardian. What is being said, chat? And chat, let me know your thoughts on Benjamin Sesko. What are your thoughts on Sesko, chat? Please do let me know. Let's see what's being said here. Chelsea and Newcastle are providing fierce competition for Man United in the race to sign Liam Delap, who will hold discussions with all of his suitors before deciding who to join. Delap, whose release clause drops to 30 mil after Ipswich got relegated, has already spoken to United and Chelsea. A contract worth 150k a week has been put forward. Talks with several other clubs are anticipated, and it's understood that Chelsea and Newcastle have been wooing the 22-year-old behind closed doors. By the way, offering Delap 150k a week is mental. Mental. Newcastle are looking to add more depth to a small squad and are understood to have made it clear that they feel that Delap can play in tandem with their star forward Isak. Anyhow, we'll also need a quality alternative to Isak. Delap has enjoyed a breakout season. Yeah. We know. He's not staying at Ipswich. Yep. Chelsea have a policy of signing young players. And like the England under-21 international, they have alternatives, and it's been suggested they will prioritise a move for Sesko if they fail to qualify for the Champions League. Sesko has interest from elsewhere, including Arsenal, but has been tracked by Chelsea for 3 years. 3 years of tracking. So we were on this man when he was 18, at 17 or 18, we were on him. We were on him when he was 17 or 18. Yeah, crazy. We were on him when he was 17 or 18, chat. Because that's what we do. We were on him when he was 17 or 18. So again, Sesko is 80 million euros release clause. 80 million euros. €80 million release clause, chat. And chat, we're still 6 likes from 100. Come on, guys. Run it up, run it up. Get these up to 100. And let me know when we're there, chat. The mistake we do is what Newcastle did not do. Isak was not the greatest striker, similar to Sesko or Ekitike. No, but Isak had a lot of promise, and he'd shown stuff. I think he'd shown more. Every single time we sign players from German league, they always flop. Yep. At the end of the day, Sesko's got a release clause. That's the reality. Sesko has a release clause, but he's got box presence. He's good in the air. He's got clean ball striking. He's got clean ball striking. But he's got 80 million euro release clause. That's what it is, chat. 80 million euro release clause. Yeah, but Ekitike's been good for once. This is the only season he's been good. And to spend that much money on him is a huge gamble. Huge gamble. Sesko I like. Sesko I do like. But I don't know. The thing is, though, chat, all these guys have got drawbacks and flaws. All of them. No, but release clauses, at the end of the day, release clause is there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the price, because it's the release clause in the contract. So you pay that, and you know what I mean? It is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. But again, I mean, is a Sesko underwhelming? Is a Sesko underwhelming? I don't really know. I don't know if a Benjamin Sesko signing is underwhelming. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. No, sure. All transfers are a gamble, but there's different levels of gamble and different levels of risk. And I just feel that, like, there's far more risk attached to signing Ekitike at 70 odd million than there is attached to Delap at 30. Delap is more of a profile that we need, and a Delap type player is what's missing in the squad. Ekitike, very similar to Jackson, just a better ball striker, better finisher. Do we need another profile of player like Nicholas Jackson? I don't think we do. I do not think we do. We need a different profile. We need to have a better balance in the squad, chat. We need that better balance in the squad. So if Jackson's doing shit, we can bring someone else on, someone else different. We can lock it long. We can do X, Y, Z. Can hold the ball up. Someone who's good in the air. Someone that can get on the end of these crosses that we put into the box. Do you know what I mean? Sesko is good in the air, and that's a big plus. Delap's got box presence. So someone with box presence is crucial, chat. Someone with box presence is absolutely crucial. There's no denying it. No, yeah, his technique is sure. But what I'm saying is they're a very similar type of player. Ekitike is Jackson with ball striking, and a better finisher. But a Delap type player would definitely suit us more than than an Ekitike, for example. Like that's the reality here. Not talking about quality necessarily, but someone with Delap's profile is of much more use to Chelsea than someone of Ekitike's profile. Now, whoever it is that ends up coming in, I'll get fully behind them, support them, like with every player. I mean, yeah, it's a problem that I'd say probably more likely Ekitike, to be fair. But again, it's not ideal. He's the same as Jackson. Look, strikers that I want simple ball striking ability. Yeah, absolutely. And ball striking has got to be one of the number one things that we look for in the next striker. Ball striking has got to be up near the top of what we're looking for, chat. It has to be. I don't know what's going on with the Osimhen stuff. Like, there's clearly a reason why. Look, clearly we don't see value. We clearly don't see value in offering that money. And it's not just us, by the way. It's clearly all Premier League clubs that see that. So there's definitely something not adding up. Definitely something that's not making sense with that. I mean, as we touched on yesterday, Mikel keeps rabbiting on about this thing. You know, and he keeps mentioning it. There must be more than just not the wages. There must be something else. Maybe Chelsea aren't sold on the attitude, or they're not convinced about something. I don't know what. But either Mikel's lying or Chelsea are lying. Either Mikel's lying or Chelsea are lying. Someone is lying here. I just don't know why Mikel would constantly bang on about this. And if it wasn't the case, then Osimhen would tell him to fucking stop speaking. So what is it? Things might change ever so slightly. Things might change ever so slightly, chat, if we're you know, in the Champions League. I don't think it's going to be the drastic changes that people are hoping for or expecting. It's not going to be that drastic level of change that we're hoping for. Yeah, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. But at some point, you just got to swallow a bit of pride or swallow a bit of whatever, and just think, fuck, we're just going to go for this, and we're just going to do it. We're just going to go for it, and we're going to do it, and fuck it. Yeah, no, 400k, no, I agree on that. But it's 250, 275 base, up to 350 with bonuses. So, yeah, I don't know. At some point, you just got to take the hit and get it done. If you genuinely want to move forward and you genuinely want if you genuinely want to move forward, you have to make exceptions. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to. Yeah, you must. You must. You must. You must. I don't know, chat. But something's got to change. Something's got to change. But we're 2 or 3 signings away from being serious. We're 2 or 3 signings away from being serious. I don't think people understand how important. I don't think you understand how important this summer is, chat. How important this next week is, and how important this summer is. This next 6 days, by the way, this next 6 days, it's It's two of our biggest games in recent Chelsea history. And that might sound absolutely mental, but it's two of our biggest games in recent Chelsea history, chat. Two of our biggest. Two of our biggest. Two of the biggest in recent Chelsea history. And I'm shitting it. Absolutely shitting it and nervous as fuck about these two games. Because these two games are going to go a long way to defining the immediate future for Chelsea, and they're going to go a long way to defining what we do this summer. Now, bro, I will always want us to make the Champions League. We need to make the Champions League. We must. We must. We must. We must. It is that simple. We have to be playing Champions League football next season. No ifs, buts, or maybes. Yeah, it is. No, I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying Ekitike is bad, but he is like Jackson in terms of profile, and we don't. I don't think we need that profile of striker. That's all I'm saying. I don't think we need that profile of striker, chat. I could be wrong, but I don't think we need that profile of striker. Nah, we after Sunday, I think we'll get a lot. We'll start getting a lot more concrete links, and after Wednesday as well. I think once these two games are out the way, we'll start to get a lot more movement and a lot more zeroing in on targets because we know exactly what we'll be able to offer next season, and then we'll be able to focus and get more serious on our targets ahead of next season. So yeah, once these games are out the way, well, once we're in a Champions League, that's it. So after Sunday, I'm expecting a lot more. I'm expecting a lot more after Sunday, a lot more news. Yeah, it depends if anyone asks any Chelsea questions. I hope they do. Cherky, Jonathan David, and Araujo, the board signs them. I mean, Jonathan David, again, Cherky's another good market opportunity. Champions League would just guarantee the directors can buy more average players. Yeah, quite potentially. So yeah, I honestly think in chat, maybe we get two strikers this summer. I don't know. But let's be honest now. In my opinion, it's going to be one of three. It's Sesko, Delap, or Ekitike. That for me is what it's boiled down to now. Sesko, Delap, or Ekitike. That's where we are. That's where we're at, chat. I honestly think now, sitting here, May 22nd, it's going to be one of those three. One of those three. And all three make the squad better, but none of those three particularly excite me. And none of those three really make the first 11 any better. So it's kind of peak times. It's kind of peak times, chat, of what's going on right now. It's kind of peak. It depends on what matters to him more. Champions League football, money. Does he want to live back up in Manchester where his family are? You know, if those things matter more than what's on offer, then maybe we'll miss out. But we might not miss out for footballing reasons. It could literally be because he wants to go and live back in the Northwest or back in the North or whatever it is. You know, it could literally be as simple as that. It could literally be as simple as that, chat. So, yeah, is what it is. Well, I don't think we'll be mid-table next season, but if we're not serious, we will struggle to finish ahead of those teams. Absolutely. Yeah, we have. Money Mace. I don't know if they do. But also, even if they do, is it to the level that we need the starting 11 to be improved? That's the thing for me. Is it to the level that we need that starting 11 to be improved? Oh, I'm not sure it is to the level that we need. I'm not sure it's to the level that we need for an improvement, chat. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy, guys. Not easy. Yeah, no, absolutely fair. Absolutely fair. But yeah, that's kind of the latest in regards to the striker situation, chat. That's the latest on that. I mean, the fact that Garnacho's name doesn't seem to go away is a problem. Absolutely a problem that we still seemingly. Hmm. Yeah, Pedro's name gets mentioned as well. Could you imagine if we signed Joao Pedro and Garnacho? Imagine. Imagine if we signed Joao Pedro and Garnacho. By the way, chat, keep smashing the like button. Let's get this up to 130 likes, 140 likes. We're on 118 at the moment. Let's get another 10, 20 likes on here before we round the show out, chat. Get the likes up and keep subscribing to the channel as well if you're new around here. And introduce yourself to the community in the chat as well. Run the likes up and keep subscribing as well, chat. I'd really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Yeah, Garnacho, you only have to look at Garnacho's comments yesterday to know, after the game yesterday, to know that he's just a problem on and off the pitch. You know, and I just don't think the foundations are there. I just don't think the foundations are there, chat. This is what I'm saying. I don't think the foundations are there. Bro, I wish wherever that confidence is coming from, please tell me, because I'd like to have some of it. Where's that confidence coming from? Please let me know. Please let me know where that confidence is coming from. I'd love to know. I'd absolutely love to know where that confidence is coming from, because right now it's a bit of a myth. It's a bit of a myth. It's a bit of a myth. I mean, where the fuck's it coming from? Where's it coming from, chat? I don't know where it's coming from, chat. I don't know where it's coming from. I will not be watching if we end up with. Yeah, I hear you. I called a Tottenham win. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. Nah, Liao, I don't see it. I don't see it with Liao. I really don't see it with Liao, chat. I really, really don't see it. So yeah, I just don't see it. Don't see it at all. Yeah. Oh, well, I thought we'd do something in January. I thought we'd try and act semi-serious, but I was very, very wrong on that, bro. If that happens, straight to the nearest airport, and we're off. We're disappearing. We're leaving the country. We're going into hiding. If that happens, we will not be here. We will not be here. We'll be gone. We'll be into hiding, taking a plane somewhere, and getting away from everything and everyone. Be uncontactable for the summer. Uncontactable if that happens. We will be disappearing, chat. If that happens, we will be disappearing. Yeah, no, Sesko does give you a plan B, and he absolutely does give you a different option as well. There's no denying it. He gives you a plan B, and he gives you a different option for sure. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. What do you expect in the Betis game? Easily our toughest game of the comp. Yeah, it could be dangerous. Could be dangerous. They're going to be. We cannot underestimate them. Underestimate them at our peril. Anthony is suddenly rediscovered how to play football, doing really well. Isco, always a threat, so much quality. Yes, big up, brother. I hope you're doing well. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be our hardest game so far in the tournament, and we're going to have to really, really make sure that we're on it. But we should be beating Betis, though, chat. We should absolutely be beating Betis regardless. We should be beating Betis regardless. But yeah, there could be potential problems for us. There could absolutely be potential problems for us. We should absolutely be beating Betis, but they'll cause us problems, and it will be difficult. It will be difficult. Yeah, no, fair. I hear it. I hear it. Yeah, no, we'll beat. Look, I'm not worried about them, but if we're not on it, then it could be an issue. That's all I'm saying. If we're not absolutely on it, then yeah, it could well be an issue against Betis. It could well be an issue. But let's not think about that right now. We've got to get through Forest first. We've got to get through Forest first, and that's going to be a problem potentially. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But what I hate the most about all this is the waiting game. The waiting game, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Why? It's just like these days just waiting for these games. I can't lie, chat. I'm nervous about the Forest situation. I am nervous about it. I mean, that can't be entirely ruled out either. That cannot be entirely ruled out. There is a distinct possibility that could happen. Oh yeah, no, they absolutely were. They got smashed. What 4-0 was it or something like that? Yeah, they didn't do well in that game at all. But I mean, I guess their focus is just fully on the final. I don't know what sort of a team they put out. But yeah, not ideal, chat. Not ideal at all. But guys, keep running the likes up. We're on 123 likes. Keep smashing that like button. Let's get this to 130, 140. We're doing a great job so far, people. So run up those likes and please keep subscribing to the channel. It does really help out as well. And make sure you introduce yourself in the chat if you're new around here. Yep, we hope. But to be honest, whatever we can do, whatever way possible, whoever does it, I don't care. Just do it. Just do it. That's the main takeaway here. Just do it. I don't care how you do it, and I don't care who does it. I don't care. It's an absolute stink fest. Nervy times, chat. Nervy times. Very nervy times. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is, chat. And yeah, we can look back at these moments and realize that, yeah, there are moments along the way if we do miss out where we absolutely fucked it. We can look back and accept that there were moments where we absolutely fucked it. So yeah, we will see. We will see, we will see, we will see. All because we couldn't beat Ipswich Town twice. Well, you can look to those games. You can look to so many games where we fucked it. You can look to so many games, chat, where we absolutely fucked it. You know, and that's the way it goes. You know, if Jorgensen don't make that mistake against Villa, that's 2 more points there. If we beat Ipswich at home like we should have done, that's 2 more points. That's 4 more points, and we're suddenly on 70 points. And we're in the Champions League and it's done and dusted, and we're not having to worry about this final game. So we can go across a whole plethora of scenarios across the season where we should have done better. But ultimately, if we miss out, it's because we've not been good enough over the course of the season, and it's because that's what we deserve. It's because that's what we deserve, chat. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. That's what we deserve. Because that's what we deserve. He is, but we've won our last 3 games of Anthony Taylor anyway. So I'm not as concerned about that as I might have been previously. Not as concerned, chat. Not as concerned. Let's have a look if there's any last minute news to come through, and then we will move away. We'll round the show out. Has anything come through last minute? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it, chat. Does not look like it. Oh. We did. Let's hope we can do it. Yeah, massive. We cannot afford to start like we did against Newcastle. We can't afford to go down 1-0 early doors. We can't afford to let the occasion get the better of us either. We just can't afford that. I don't know if George should play on Sunday, to be honest, because George will just get eaten alive by Murillo and Milinkovic. We need to do something different. We have to do something different Sunday. We must. Yeah, we must do something different on Sunday than that. We can't really be going with that again, because you're just going to get no joy out of those two whatsoever. None at all. None at all. But yeah, chat, we're going to round this one out here. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. I'll be back again tomorrow with more transfer news if there's enough. And of course, guys, we've got match preview dropping with everyone's favourite guy, Wolfie. We've got the Forest preview of Wolfie dropping tomorrow as well. Make sure you stay tuned in for that one. There'll be 2 bits of content tomorrow. Match preview of Wolfie and, of course, all the latest transfer news. Big up to everyone, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.